What's up, Nampa Fire? This is Logan here with your tool of the month. I know you're all probably thinking that I'm the tool of the month, but we're actually going to talk about these tools of the month. We have the pig here, we have pig putty, we're going to do a little theme, and we have plug and dike. So the pig here is an 8-pound tool. It was created by an Austin, Texas fireman. He wanted to create a tool that had both the pick head axe as well as a flathead axe striking surface. He wanted something where he could carry less on the fire ground, so came up with kind of a 2-in-1 tool here. We'll go into more detail on this here in a minute. Some of you may be familiar with pig putty. This little tool can be used in a multitude of different ways to plug little holes if you need to. We'll walk through how to work with this stuff. And then something that you might not be super familiar with is plug and dike. So we carry granular plug and dike, so you're able to basically mix this with water and plug larger holes, let's say like some sort of oil drum or gas leak or something like that. You can use this to basically mix with water, 1-to-1 ratio, mix it up, and then plug big holes in objects. So we'll dive more into each one of those in detail. So diving into the pig a little bit here, we have an 8-pound head on this. I believe the truck carries a 36-inch pig. So again, like we just talked about, a great tool for forcible entry, can be used for overhaul and then also roof operations. So we'll talk a little bit about forcible entry with this. Having an 8-pound head gives you a little bit more oomph when you're doing forcible entry. So you have a nice big striking surface, flat. You're not going to have as much mushrooming like you would on a normal flathead axe. And then you obviously have the pick side, which can be used as a wedge as well. So if we walk over here, obviously, like we talked about, the striking surface, using it like a ram or just hitting it normal, you have that big face to hit with. And then again, just using this side as your wedge as you're kind of working through your forcible entry objective. So we'll do a quick, just kind of live view on what that would look like using the pig versus a flathead axe. All right, so now we'll see kind of the pig in action here. So we go ahead and create our gap like we normally would. And let's say we have a tight door. You can force that in there. Give yourself your wedge, buy a purchase point, and you're through the door. All right, so we're going to talk about the utility of the pig tool for roof operations. So typically when we're going to the roof, we're going to grab a trash hook, right? This could be another tool in the arsenal that you can use. Talk about a good sounding tool. The weight of this tool is going to give you a good sound. If you need footing on a steep pitch for whatever reason, you have the pick that you can sneak in. Use that as footing, just like you would. And then similarly, saw appreciation. You don't have a saw breaks down, whatever the case may be. Using it to punch through decking, again with the 8-pound head, it's going to blow through decking pretty easily. So even just getting a hole started or doing a whole 5-cut with this would be possible. So just another tool to add to the arsenal. And the last thing I wanted to touch on with this tool is just as an overhaul piece. It's going to take care of lath and plaster pretty easily. Again, with the bulk of this, it's going to just blow through lath and plaster. You have the pick, you can pry trim and other pieces of material off pretty easily. So just another consideration for this would be overhaul and just, you know, thinking outside the box when it comes to using the tools that we have available to us. All right, guys, now we're going to talk about pig putty and plug and dike and how they can help us on scene plugging different types of leaks in different types of containers. So here we have our pig putty. Some of you may be familiar with it, others may not be. The design of this product is basically to plug just minor leaks in metal, concrete, really any surface that we'll come across. This can help us plug small holes. So it's really easy to work with. You basically just open up the canister, take off the little top piece, and there's plastic around the outside. So you just remove the plastic, take off however much you think you're gonna need. So for the pig hole that we created, we'll probably need a little bit. So I'm gonna go ahead and break this off here. Set that down, and then there's 2 different colors in there. So you're basically just kneading that together, kneading it and twisting it until you have a uniform color, and that's when it sets up. Once it's set up, you have 3 to 5 minutes of working time before it starts hardening, and it'll harden to concrete hard within 60 minutes. So we don't have a ton of time to work with this stuff, but basically just kneading it, getting that color uniform, and then putting it over the hole and hopefully stopping the leak. So that looks pretty good right there. Probably grabbed a little bit more than I need. With our massive gash in the bottle down here, pop this out. We got some fluid coming out of there. So I'm gonna go ahead and cover that up. And we're good to go. All right, now for the moment you've all been waiting for, plug and dike. So basically what you have here is granular plug and dike mix. So you basically are going to create a 1-to-1, meaning this much, however much of this you need, you're going to add the same amount of water to create your mixture. So we'll put a little bit in here. Start with that. And then we'll add water to it. This only mixes with water, so it will not mix with gasoline, it will not mix with coolant, it will not mix with any other material. It'll mix with water. So we'll throw some water in there. Start with that. And then we're gonna mix this for about 30 seconds. Probably best if you had some sort of Ziploc bag or something to do this in. We have a leftover food container from Tim's Kids. Yeah. So 30 seconds. It's good to wear gloves with this too. So you get it into a ball, kind of have like a Play-Doh type consistency. Ask my daughter, she'll know what that's like. So you take your Play-Doh mixture. You don't need to do any treatment to the surface that you're putting it on. So you basically just put it over the hole that you're trying to plug. Make sure all the sides are pressed down firmly. And there you have it, plug and dike.
What do you guys think?
Well done. Well said. Super dope. Well said.
Too nice.
So a couple last thoughts on plug and dike. Sometimes you'll be doing your rig checks or whatnot, and you'll find this. A lot of the apparatus store them up in the catwalk above the pump panel. If you look in here, you'll see there's some like clumps. A lot of that's due to just water getting in here because the lid can get knocked off. So just one thing to maybe keep in mind is as you're doing rig checks, just make sure the lid to this is on so water's not getting in here, because again, it does mix with water, and that can, inhibit this working when we need it to. And then a couple other things to talk about with the pig putty. The manufacturer spec says that preparing the site to where you're going to apply the material is a way to get it to adhere the best. That's not a likely scenario in much of what we're going to come across and how we're going to use the tool, but just something to keep in mind. The plug and dike does not need to have a treated surface, so if that's a consideration, maybe lean towards using the plug and dike. The plug and dike is also going to be able to hold a higher pressure behind it, so if there's a lot of fluid in the container that you're trying to fix a leak in, it might be worth leaning towards the plug and dike to make sure that you're going to be able to actually fix the leak. You can let it set up a little bit and always add more material if you need to allow you to plug that leak, and you're going to want to make sure to the best of your ability, just make sure that the whole leak is plugged before turning the scene over, just to make it easier downstream. So that's that.